For years, you've been told Toyota and Lexus are the gold standard of reliability. But what if I told you that some luxury brands are not just matching, but actually beating them in dependability? In fact, the latest J.D. Power and Consumer Reports data show surprising names like Porsche and BMWs climbing higher than you'd ever expect. So, are we living in a new era where luxury doesn't mean sacrificing reliability? Stay with me, because the answer is going to completely change the way you look at so-called safe Toyota ownership. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Toyota and Lexus aren't always the most reliable cars on the road. For decades, the answer to which brand lasts longest seemed automatic. Everyone pointed to Toyota and its luxury sibling, Lexus, as the safest bets if you wanted minimal repair bills and confidence year after year. Their reputation became so dominant that most buyers never questioned it, assuming no other car maker could ever unseat them from the top of reliability rankings. But the numbers are starting to tell a story that doesn't follow the script we've been used to hearing. Across multiple independent studies, the stability of those rankings has begun to shift. Consumer Reports and J.D. Power, the two most followed authorities on dependability statistics, are no longer placing Toyota and Lexus in an unquestioned 1-2 position. Instead, new names are creeping into the discussion, shaking up an old belief that Japanese brands always dominate without competition. What used to be presented as fact now looks more like an assumption, and the latest results don't always agree with the past narrative. Take the 2025 brand-level rankings from Consumer Reports. For the very first time in years, Subaru pulled ahead of both Lexus and Toyota. That's right, Subaru now sits at the top, and it didn't just happen by chance. Consumer Reports points to the company's strategy of repeating proven systems across many models, rather than constantly reinventing, which reduces the chances of fresh problems. While Toyota follows its own proven formula, Subaru's philosophy has positioned it as the surprising leader in vehicle dependability. The unexpected shift means buyers focused purely on reliability might want to reconsider automatically limiting their search to Toyota or Lexus. Some people accept Lexus as the exception, proving the rule that luxury and dependability don't mix. It's often framed as the rare luxury brand that challenges the stereotype. But J.D. Power's 2024 study shows Toyota's premium arm isn't the only example. Lexus did secure the overall #1 spot yet again, with a score of 135 problems per 100 vehicles, which is outstanding. But right behind, Porsche and BMW performed far better than many predicted, with Porsche posting 175 and BMW at 190. Considering the industry average now sits at 190, the idea that premium vehicles always suffer greater complexity-related issues no longer matches reality the way it once did. Part of the explanation comes down to how top-tier brands engineer and construct their vehicles. While luxury may bring extra technology, it also often means higher-grade materials, more precise assembly, and designs that can end up being simpler than assumed in key mechanical areas. This isn't about lavish features holding up over time, it's about the core structure being strong enough to minimize trouble. That's why the comparison between Lexus at 135 pp100 and Porsche at 175 feels so eye-opening. The gap between a mainstream luxury leader and an iconic German performance brand isn't as wide as expected. On a chart, they're closer together than most buyers would guess. Here's the payoff. Consumer Reports crowned Subaru as the most reliable brand of 2025, dethroning Lexus from that prestigious top position. For context, Lexus had been so consistent over the years that many assumed it would never be bumped off. Yet this time, a brand that most people admire for rugged all-wheel drives and outdoorsy lifestyles took the crown instead. That single result proves that Toyota and Lexus reliability dominance isn't absolute. With new challengers climbing closer, and some even overtaking, the throne is far from untouchable. And that's where things start to get interesting. Because once you zoom in on individual models, the story gets even more surprising. A few luxury sedans, the very ones most buyers assume are too complicated to trust long-term, are now landing scores that beat Toyota at its own game. What if the most reliable luxury sedan isn't a Lexus, but something you'd never expect from Germany? That sounds hard to believe since Toyota's image of durability is so ingrained that most car buyers don't even consider competing brands when it comes to long-term dependability. Mention reliable car, and people envision a Toyota Camry or a Lexus ES without hesitation. For many, the idea of a premium badge suggests a car loaded with features, expensive sensors, and gadgets waiting to fail after the warranty period ends. This belief has been around for years, and it explains why so many shoppers write off luxury cars as a whole when they want something simple and predictable. That assumption makes sense at first glance. Extra technology usually means more things that could go wrong, from advanced driver assistance systems to digital dashboards and adaptive suspensions. Common wisdom has always painted these systems as ticking time bombs, making luxury cars more about prestige than practicality. Yet, recent performance and reliability surveys shows that these worries aren't playing out the way buyers expect. In fact, models like the Porsche 911 and Boxster are not only holding their own, but according to industry data, outperforming plenty of everyday mass-market brands that built their reputations on affordability and dependability instead of luxury status. This turns the old stereotype on its head. If you want a more direct surprise, look at the BMW 3 Series. Consumer Reports analyzed over 300,000 owner surveys and found the 2023 3 Series experiencing fewer issues than its segment rivals. Reports from owners covered typical problem areas, things like brake systems, electrical quirks, paint and trim concerns, and minor noises. When all of these categories were averaged, the BMW 3 Series came out on top of the luxury sedan category, even ahead of the Lexus ES, which has long been viewed as the quiet champion of dependable premium sedans. This result is striking, because BMW usually carries a reputation for higher ownership costs once a car leaves warranty coverage. The fact that the 3 Series managed to perform better than Lexus's trusted ES suggests some brands are turning popular assumptions around completely. Another set of scores reinforces these findings. US News rated the BMW 3 Series with an 80 out of 100, categorizing it as great on predicted reliability. At the same time, the Lexus ES still earned a strong 85 out of 100, staying right in character with Lexus tradition. What's interesting is not that Lexus still performs well, it does, but that BMW now sits directly next to it on reliability charts, without the big gap that shoppers might expect when hearing the names side by side. That closeness marks a major change because Lexus used to dominate these discussions easily. Now buyers are seeing real competition. The surprise doesn't stop at BMW. Porsche has steadily risen higher in dependability rankings from multiple outlets. US News awarded the Boxster 90 out of 100, placing it among the top-rated luxury performance cars. The Chevrolet Corvette climbed even higher at 92 out of 100, taking the crown from both Japanese and German rivals in this category. Edmunds also highlighted Porsche's success, pointing at its balance of driving precision, engineering strength, and comfort as reasons it succeeds both in driving excitement and reliability statistics. J.D. Power's results echoed this assessment, showing Porsche as a standout in long-term quality across its lineup. Reliability doesn't belong to just Toyota anymore. Brands like Porsche, BMW, and even Genesis are showing that premium doesn't have to mean fragile. Advances in engineering and stronger materials have narrowed the gap, making some luxury models as dependable as mainstream options. That means buyers no longer need to trade reliability for comfort or performance. Instead of assuming a Toyota badge guarantees the best choice, Look at model-by-model data from sources like Consumer Reports or J.D. Power. The safest long-term ownership decision may not be the obvious one, and it might just come with a luxury emblem on the grille.